Hello my stitchy friends, welcome back. My name is Laura. You found Lala D Stitches and I'm so glad you're here with me. We're in a bit different spot today. I rearranged my studio, and while it is a lot more open and functional for my day-to-day, it wound up not being as functional for filming. My computer sits in a corner and we were looking at a door, and so with some creative finagling, here we are in my stitchy spot. I had to move my computer for the video. That's okay. We're working out the kinks. Anyways, this is where the magic happens. It's very cozy. We found these chairs at a thrift store and game changer. Up until we got these last year, I have never been able to actually stitch in my studio and in my crafty space, and it really is delightful. It's such a happy room filled with all my favorite things. So yeah, here we are. Welcome. I hope this works out. I'm a little farther away from the computer, so I'll try to project a bit more. I'll definitely make sure that the sound is, as balanced as I can make it in editing. And aside from that, I guess we'll just rock and roll. So I have 2 FFOs. I didn't finish anything. It's been about 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks since my last video. So while I've gotten a lot of stitching done and have really awesome things to share, I haven't finished anything. So, but I did go out and get some foam board, and was able to lace Coffee and Contemplation. And it's so cute. And I'm pleased to say that as I kind of postulated it would, the dark frame makes the words a lot easier to read. They were ghosting a little bit on their own, but yeah, I love it. It's sitting next to it has no back. It didn't fit, so I'll have to get some paper or something and glue that on at some point just to protect the back, but it's just propped up on next to my coffee maker, and it makes me smile every morning. And then the other one is a finish from last April or May, and that is Strawberry Farm by FlossyFoxShop. We'll see if we can not get all the glare. This was such a happy stitch. It was in last year's Patreon. I do believe it's available now. It's been a year. And I mean, it was so happy. I stitched it on, sorry, I've got my notes off to the side because I have no table in front of me. So if I look off like I'm spacing out, it's because that's where all my notes are. My brain is a sieve, and so if I don't write it down, I don't know. But this was stitched on Picture This Plus Zephyr, which is this beautiful sky blue. Oh my gosh, the glare. It's funny because where it sits on my shelf, it doesn't really get any glare, so the glass doesn't bother me, but I tend to be 50-50. It's so cute. Oh my gosh. I love it. The little frogs. A capybara. The rainbow, they're so cute. It's so fun. This was such a fun stitch. Anyways, I was saying, it doesn't get any glare where it sits, so the glass doesn't bother me, but I tend to be 50-50 when it comes to glass or no glass in my framing. Most of what's downstairs is no glass. And sometimes I'll do it because the colors just show a lot better without the glass. This one's so bright and cheerful that it didn't matter one way or another. But, oh my gosh, my nail polish. I forgot I was going to take that off. Don't look at my nails. I forbid it. Anyways, brain derailed. Anyways, there's glass in this one, and it's fine. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm so happy to have it finished. I love the white frame around it. It just keeps it clean and fresh and lets the bright stitching be the focus. So that worked out nicely. And okay. Let's jump into stitching. So I started a new thing the last couple weeks. I realized I wasn't spinning my border wheel that I'd created in January. And the idea with that, if you're new, was if I don't know what to stitch, at the time the idea was, if I didn't know what to stitch, I couldn't decide on anything, that I would spin my border wheel and I would get some progress on some of those big borders that are really the frames for all the cute parts, but aren't necessarily the most fun to stitch. But they can be very soothing for me, when my brain is overwhelmed by things, to just stitch a straight line is easy, right? But I realized I wasn't really spinning it, and I don't know if that's because it's not like I've been super focused in my stitching. So I certainly could have spun the wheel, but I wasn't. So I decided I usually in the mornings, I'll kind of do my morning routine, and then I'll sit down at my desk with some coffee and, look through my planners and kind of putter at my desk for a little bit. And I decided to add into that time like 30 to 45 minutes of morning stitching, which I've tried off and on in the past and never stuck with. My mornings are just usually my most productive time. And I stitch in the afternoon evenings. But it's been working for me for the last couple weeks. So what I started with was Moggie Manor by the Blue Flower, which I began end of last February. It's so pretty. I love this project. And this is how far I got last year. So you can see I had my top width, but I just barely started down those side borders. And I am pleased to share that the borders are done. So it took, I don't know, this might have been a week of morning stitching, because like I said, it's a half hour or so. It's rough, as I'm starting my day. But here we go. I did shorten mine. So I am omitting the cat and lake portion and then this banner with the names, because I had one cat once upon a time, but it was short-lived. Nothing against the cat. I loved her. Her name was Jasmine. She was beautiful and sweet, but she stayed with my ex. So I don't really want a reminder of that on my wall. So I just am going to do from the grass up. And it's going to be so pretty because I'll still get a couple cats, and I get all these beautiful birds and the lovely house and the phrase, which is delightful. So I did the outer border first. It took some counting to make sure that I'd done, since I'm changing it, that I'd gotten down the appropriate amount of space, but not too much. And then this was real easy to add in. So, oh, I love it. It's so pretty. It's so, so pretty. This is on 14 count Bestitch Me Ada, and the color is mocha, and it's beautiful. This light's actually showing the colors really nicely. Some blue and that dusty rose. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, but plays neutral nicely. Oh, that shows it perfect. This might be a good spot, you guys. I might just move the computer every video. It's fine. What's a little extra work? Okay, so that felt really good. Now this is ready. I think this month when I want to do some of the motif stitching, so I might just continue down this side and try to get that grass line established. That would be good because that's one of the heavier parts of the stitching in this. it's not going to be hard or take very long, but that would be good to kind of carry that side down. So that might be one of my soft goals for April. All of my goals are pirate goals. It's pirate rules. That 2025 is the year of pirate rules because rules are meant to be broken. Okay, so my next one, I finished the border on that. Ironically, this is on the other half of that same piece of fabric, but something I've realized about my fungi temperature tracker from Buena Pieza is the borders are intense. And I have done no more of the actual temperature stitching yet. But I have made, because, oh, my picture is crooked. Let's see if we can. So this is where I was. Okay, that's sideways. Okay. Let's see if I can lock the turning. There we go. That'll work. So that's where I started. Needle and all. I've finished January. I've done, almost half of February. As I mentioned before, I'm still tracking my temperatures, so that's not a big deal, but I have stitched none of March's mushrooms whatsoever. And part of that was because I felt the need to complete more border before I did more of the fun stuff. Probably because it just establishes where you are. This is how far I got so far. So this is about a week again of border stitching. It's a lot. It's intense. It's super fun stitching because it's defining where everything will sit, but it's a lot of stitches. The border is a lot of stitches in this. So I've got March done. April is established. I've almost got, this will be June, and then this will be July. So my goal is to get the first half of the border stitched before I do any more fill-in of mushrooms and temperature stuff. So I'm close. I am undecided if I'll go in with the secondary green. I probably should. But that's where she is. So it feels really good to be making progress on those bones, because then all the fun stuff will just fly lickety split. And frankly, if I could even just spend April getting the bones in, then next month I could spend May catching up. April, May, June, July, March, April, May, June. I can brain. I can. It's possible. Anyways, I could spend May catching up, and then June and July could just be a combination of tracking currently and then doing maybe the next line of 3 in my borders. So potential game plan there. I think that's totally reasonable. I did have one comment that said they were going to get this and stitch all the borders this year, and then next year they would track the temperatures. And I think that's a great idea for this, because the border is a bit more to keep up on than I anticipated just looking at it. So, but it's still fun. I'm really enjoying the stitch, and my goodness, March was a roller coaster. We were everything from below freezing temperatures to mid-70s for a blip. So the colors should be kind of fun in March. April will be interesting. It's already been kind of all over the board. Not warm, but we've had snow and wind, and today it's beautiful and sunny. And yeah, so I think spring is coming though. I saw our first beginning buds of cherry blossoms, which feels insane, but we're 4 months in, so I guess it's not. My heart is so ready for spring. Okay, next project. Before I decided to do border stitching, I tried working on my ink circles, arranging mushrooms. Because I definitely want to finish this year. It's not a big project. the progress goes really quickly when I actually sit down and stitch on it. So I've been enjoying pulling it out again, and I finished one mushroom and a couple of details basically. Oh my goodness, play nice. There we go. So this is where I started. Kind of had the starts of a few mushrooms. Sorry for it being a little overexposed. Okay, well, there you go. Freaking apple. All right, that's okay. And this is where I am. So I've filled in this mushroom, filled in that mushroom, added the bones here, which it doesn't look like it, but that's actually two colors. It's very subtle. And then I've finished that mushroom. So good progress. Oh my gosh, the light. There we go, that's pretty good. But you can't see it very well because it's so far away. I feel like I'm very far away from the camera. It's fine. That's where we sit. So cute. I'm stitching this 1/1 Aida square. I believe it's an 18 count Aida. I want to say, I don't remember. It's when I dyed last year. I'm sure it was pulled. It's either 18 or 16. I don't know. But I'm sure it's just one that I pulled from a kit that I wasn't going to use and had replaced. And so then it gave me white Aida to play with dyeing on. So cute. So really, there's like one little mushroom up here. Yeah, we've got like one mushroom here, one mushroom here. I am almost halfway. Very close to halfway on this one. Pretty exciting. I'm doing it with the called for floss. And don't think there's any more information. It was a stitch along, but my partner in crime has long since finished it. So I'm flying solo. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this next one, I don't have a before picture on. Go ahead and turn that off just for battery's sake. But this is my leap year Sal. And I'm doing the Blackbird Designs Anniversaries of the Heart series. This is my next square, A Wish for You, and I love this one. I thought I would finish this one in, ambitious, in March. I love that it had kind of the clovers coming up and it felt very appropriate, but I didn't. I did give it a start though. So here's where I am. I'm stitching this on 36 count sand, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It might be Heartland or something like that. Where's my card? Where's my brain? Missing in action. Anyways, I'm doing my own floss pulls from Stash. So some of the colors will be the same and others will be adjusted either to lift it into a little bit of a brighter value or because I have it. So she's beautiful though, and it's getting more exciting now that I've gotten out. Like, this block is so beautiful, but it's very wintry. Maybe that's the kindest way to put it, because I love it. I don't want to like say anything too disparaging, and I still have a couple details like personalizations to fill in. For now, that's how I'm going to carry through this project, just to keep stitches coming. At some point I'll go back in. I have assigned ancestry to the blocks, family members, but I haven't decided what information exactly I'm going to put in. So until I really refine that, I'm just going to leave spaces for those things. So like on this block, I'm going to leave all the words out. It'll just be the house, the bunny, the pot, and the vines. And I'm just going to leave it like that until I decide what information to actually put in there. The bricks are super fun. I know they look kind of funky right now, but apparently brick houses are my jam because I really enjoyed stitching on it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I want to pull this out again. I do have a goal to finish this block this month. So I will have to pull it out. I've been pulling out my leap year only on the 28th and 29th of the month, and frankly, I think I only pulled it out for one day in March. That's okay. But to keep on keeping on, I need to make a little bit more progress this month. And honestly, that house was going quick already. I don't think it'll be more than a few days of stitching to get that going. But I'm gonna have to pick a couple days. Maybe I'll pull it out every Sunday or something this month and try to get that goal accomplished. Okay, next, my list is Sampler Hill. I love this project, wrinkly and all. So this is Sampler Hill by Brenda Gervais. And I bought this, oh goodness, 2 years ago when I was visiting. Well, I was helping my parents move, actually. I wasn't just visiting. And we took a day off from unpacking to go to the cross stitch shop. And I need it to be able to turn. Here we go. So this is where I started when I picked it up this year. Last year I'd finished that border and added in the dogs and the pot. So I didn't do a lot of work on it last year. And this year when I picked it up, I kind of thought, okay, maybe a game plan is in order. So I got out my little Post-it notes and I went through all the projects I wanted to work on and I said, okay, just do this, this, and that, or this and that. And it was just 1 or 2 achievable goals if I just sat down and worked on it. And that worked for me. That gave me a little bit more focus. And so I've added in this beautiful bird. I haven't done his feet or his beak yet, but we're fine. And then this tall basket. It's so lovely. This is being stitched on 32 count Mayflower. I do not have a company for it. I'm sorry. It was tagless. I just have the tag that the shop gave me and it just says Mayflower. So I don't know who the manufacturer is, but it's lovely. This kind of soft, peachy color. It's a very wrinkly piece of fabric. I don't know that will ever go away because I've pressed it a couple of times. But you know, that's okay. I love it. I love how the colors pop off of this. It's a very lovely kind of antique-y bright palette, if that even translates. Happy, happy. So because the images are mirrored, I think my plan of attack for more on this is the hill is fairly intensive. So if I could get our lovely lady here and maybe this tree, then I would like at least outline the hill. That would probably be good. If I could outline the hill, then add the letters, then it would just be fill in. I'm not saying I'm going to do that this month, but that's kind of how I'm approaching this one for now. We'll see. Sometimes I sit down to stitch and I'm like, nah, I want to stitch a bird. Okay, next one. I was definitely ready for spring. Oopsie. So I pulled out Blooming Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. Yes. So cute. My janky nails. I'm so sorry. I painted my nails this week, but my anxiety often has me messing with them, and so they look horrible. I'm sorry. I meant to take that off. It's all good. Okay. Anyways, so I started it last year, and all I did was that first center house. And I'm sure I didn't go any farther. I'm sure I didn't go any farther because I wound up moving and life just got really unexpected for a while there. So I didn't make it any further, but I've added in almost 2 more houses. There's a couple small details to do on them, but yeah, pretty fun. This is a mixture of the called for flosses and again some substitutions based on what I had available to me in my stash. And I'm trying to keep them very much, what did I hear somebody say? It was thoughtful conversion. So I'm trying to keep it like the sample, but then if I don't have it, I'm swapping it out for something I have in my stash. Thoughtful conversion. Anyways, super cute. I'm excited to get some of the blues in there. I think that, and that last yellow house, I think that will help it feel really springy. I will say, when I had this brown house and then I added this brown house, I was like, ugh, brown. And I like brown. There's nothing wrong with brown, but my heart was wanting color, and here I was stitching in neutrals. So this is on 28 count even weave by Picture This Plus sand. And that's what I bought, I want to say a couple years ago when I started this process in the summer. Yeah, it's got to be a couple years ago. I bought a half yard or a fat quarter or something. So I was able, I think it was a fat quarter, because I was able to cut it in strips. And I realized it was dumb to cut them apart after I'd already cut several apart. Because here I am holding, I stitch in hand, and I'm holding this like little 4-inch strip of fabric. It's a little awkward. 2 is a lot easier to hold. Anyways, I had a fat quarter was enough to stitch like 5 or 6 of them. So that was awesome. And I have Patriotic and Summer going. And when we come around to fall in, 5 or 6 months, I would like to pick up, like the Thankful and the Halloween and the Autumn, because they're so cute. That would be fun. And I think I've got enough fabric to be able to do at least 2 or 3 more. So very fun. What else did I work on? Okay, this one was fun. This one I got a little bit attached to. So, Pink Sparrow sampler. Apparently I'm on a Brenda Gervais kick right now, which is good because her stuff is gorgeous. And I'm a sucker for it. I'm doing my own conversion. Oh, fiddle. Well, hello. There we go. I think all my buttons are on the bottom right now. So this is where I started. I started it last year in the spring. And let's pull out the real deal here. Here, I can even get the information. Nope, not on that one. This is my conversion, which somebody did ask for. I'm so sorry. I'm so delayed on everything. Okay, there we go. That's my info I need on responding to people. I will post my conversion for this, I promise. I'm trying to figure out how to make those cute little infographics so that I can put it on Instagram as well as on my community page here on YouTube. But so one step at a time, I suppose. I am working on it though. It is on my brain. So this is where I am. I made huge, awesome progress. So I continued into this border and I've added a couple flowers down here. I completed the entire alphabet. I don't yeah, I added these flowers, our cute little green birds, the beginning of our first funky little dog, and I couldn't love it more. It's so good. I did realize I have an error here. This flower is supposed to be like one set of leaves higher. I'm not going to worry about it. I think it's cute. This is being stitched on 28 count Lugana by Bestitch Me. The color is lightly roasted, not salted. Ooh, yes, we like it. She's so pretty. I love it. It just makes me happy, and I can hardly wait to have it done. And I'll have to find a frame quickly for it. So pretty. Yes. So that definitely took, you know, several days of my stitching because I was just enjoying it. I was making such significant progress. Like everything I did felt huge, even if it wasn't. Yeah, I just so enjoyed it. I definitely see a finish soon on this, which is awesome. I'm a process stitcher. I just love sitting down and stitching. So I'm never pressured to finish things. I carry a lot of whips, and that's fine with me. It works for me. I like having the variety. I like stitching what's inspiring in the moment. And being able to bounce around. But I will say that it never fails to feel good when something I love is complete and I can look at it every day on the wall. So, okay, next three, the final three things I worked on. Yes, were new starts, so I don't need this anymore. These were new starts. So I started the Enchanted Garden by Joan Elliott, glare and all. The sweetest magical bunny in the land. I love it. So cute. And what am I stitching this on? I think I have a card for it. Let me see. Perhaps not. Les incompetents. Oh no, I do. Haha. Never mind. I'm smart. This is 28 count linen by Picture This Plus. The color is Heartland, which is so warm and lovely. And this project isn't huge. I think it finishes 8 by 10. Just under 8. Yeah, so it's not big, but that's our first little fairy. This is the shadow of our mushroom that she sits on. The bunny's face starts like right there, so that'll be really fun to get into. Yeah, there she be. This was happy stitching. It felt really good. I started it on a very dark, cloudy day, and she's just sweet. There's a lot of back stitching that will define her limbs and face. And her wings. It looks like her wings are outlined as well. But I'll probably save, I typically save back stitching for the end. I like the ta-da moment of no back stitching to back stitching. It just feels like the magic sauce. Yeah, so that's fun. That was delightful to stitch on, and I'll definitely keep working on her this month as well. Okay, this one I just started a couple days ago. So this was a gift from my mother for my birthday last year. This beautiful Luca-S gold collection. Oh my goodness. No, thumbs up. It's beautiful. May Iris. And I didn't I wasn't thrilled about the white background, so I swapped it out for 32 count. I want to say it's called Lily Pad. Let me find the little tag thing. Water Lily. 32 count Water Lily. I don't know, again, the manufacturer. Not all stores have tags like that. But I'm excited for this because there was a little bit of trepidation about how it looked. I was fairly confident it would be beautiful, but as soon as I started stitching and got those greens on there, I was like, yes, this was the right choice. It's so beautiful. And it's such a different style stitching than, like, I really love a pixelated stitch, or like a lot of the Blackbird designs they use the floss as your dimension and texture in what are essentially very simple motifs, very simple shapes. This uses very simple floss and builds beautiful dimension. Oh my gosh, it was so satisfying. So this is our first little blossom that's just beginning to pop on the iris. This is that main leaf that comes up on the left, and I can hardly wait to get into those beautiful purples. It's just so beautiful. And it's stitching really quickly. Like, this is 2 nights of stitching, just an hour or 2 each night. Very, very satisfying. Oh, I love it so much. I love it so much. It's going to be beautiful. I'm very excited to continue working on this one. Okay, last but not least was my only market start thus far, Spring Traditions sampler by Tiny Modernist. I adore it. So cute. I think this is my favorite house. Like, the more I've looked at the chart, it's just a magical fairy cottage. Oh, it's so cute. I'm not stitching that cottage yet, but I'll get there soon. This is on, I believe it's a 30 count linen, but it's unknown. But I love how my colors look on it. I will say, so on this part of the chart, really quickly, these 2 symbols right here are the path colors, so the light tan and that darker brown. And the symbols are correct, they're marked correctly, but the numbers for the flosses are swapped. So this symbol should be 420 and this symbol should be 422. It's fairly simple to just correct it, just stitch by the color that it's showing, because the chart is correct. The stitching itself was easy, but I definitely had a few minutes. I stitched the first few rows of the tan, and I felt like it was correct because it looked correct as far as the colors went, but the numbers were lying to me. Anyways, so far, that's the only little gru blah blah I've found in the pattern. Everything else has been perfection, and it's easy, fast, happy stitching. I love the stone path up to the door on this house, and the beautiful tulips are so fresh. Oh, it's so cute. It's so dang happy. I love it. I love it. And I was a little concerned as I was stitching the path before I got the dark spots in, that my path didn't show enough, like there wasn't enough contrast on my fabric. But the more I got in, the more I realized, no, it's great. It's great. I was worried my fabric was perhaps a little too creamy, but I like the creaminess for me. They used a cream. Mine's a little darker than what they used, probably. Hard to tell with pictures. But, oh my goodness, I love it so much. I love it so much. I'm definitely gonna keep working on this. Keep that spring garden vibe going. Okay, so that's everything I actually stitched on. My next two things I want to share with you are my problem children. I just want to kind of revisit them so that you guys know that I haven't completely abandoned them. I still love them, problem children or not. But I have come to, how do I phrase this? I've come to a decision on how I will approach them. So first one is the Unicorn's Garden by Sprouting Lupine. I adore this. I was rocking and rolling on it in January and then discovered that I had missed 5 or 6 rows in the tree. And I waxed poetic about my despair. Or perhaps I just despaired. That I would have to rip out all of this. And you guys, you brilliant, brilliant viewers were like, duh, why don't you just pull out the lower portion? And yes, it took me like a week to be like, yeah, that's definitely, well, okay, I knew instantly it was a better idea. But it took me about a week to decide that that's what I was going to do, and it took me another 2 months to actually start to do it. So, you know, baby steps again. This is the line of where my error was, so everything above that is correct. So I have begun pulling out the tree, and I began pulling out the fence, and it's not going to be that bad. If I just pull out a length every day or so, it'll be done before I know it. And I know it won't take long to put back in. I love this fabric, so I'm really glad to kind of have, it's really all about settling your brain about it, right? Because it's a little bit of work. It's not exciting. It's not hard to pull stuff out, but it's not exciting to undo your progress. So yeah, I'm settled onto it. It's begun, and it no longer feels like this big, oh man. It's just like, okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then I'll be able to start doing the fun stuff again. So that problem child is sorted, or at least being sorted instead of neglected. And the next one, you've seen it everywhere. I was so excited about this in late January, early February. I did actually go out and buy the magazine. Nature's Journey, again by Sprouting Lupine. But I wound up with a fabric challenge. So this is how far I got in February. This is let me see if I can get the color to show nicely. It's very soft. It's a little brighter than it's showing. Yeah, these jade colors do not want to film. Anyways, so I got that first big flower done. Color, perfect. But it's a Monaco even weave. It's stiff. I have washed it. I have tumble dried it with a softening sheet, which I had to go out and buy because I don't actually use fabric softener. I used wool dryer balls, but I was like, if it's going to soften this up and make it so that I can use this beautiful fabric, then yes, I'll try it. And while the fabric is softer than it was, the physical stitching is not comfortable for me. So I didn't stitch anymore, even though my heart really, really had FOMO watching everybody finish their first section. So beautiful. I love this chart. So I have auditioned many fabrics. I have dyed a couple of new fabrics, and nothing was quite right, and I'm out of fabric to dye. So I did have another piece in this color family that was darker The challenge with that is, here are the colors. Let me just show them on the white. So we've got a couple in the heart of the colors here that are in that jade family, right? And they both showed on this lighter fabric, but if you go a step darker, they kind of ghosted a little bit. And though I don't think it matters much in the spring portion, certainly in the winter, it looks like both the moth and this feature, and perhaps even the chrysalis in summer, are in those tones. And I don't want them to ghost. I want them to show. So I've gone a completely different direction. I dyed a piece of fabric. Last night, I looked at it in the darkness, which was my mistake. And I wasn't thrilled about it. I was like, I don't know, it's kind of dirty. Does it do what I want it to do? I looked at it again this morning and I was like, oh, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's just earthy. So this is a 32 count. It was originally a cream linen that I had been gifted, and I over dyed it. And I think all the colors show just fine. Some of them are a little brighter. Like, I had this in my head, right? I think that was my biggest challenge of going to something else, was this was in my head and it was so fresh and it was so lovely. But actually, I think this is gonna be pretty dang good. And nothing ghosts on it. Everything shows. See if I can get good color representation. Anyways, I think you guys get the idea. So yeah, I think I've finally found a replacement fabric without having to spend $30. Even though I would love to just go out and buy the called for Bestitch Me. It's beautiful. And I tried to go light with this, but when you start with a cream, it just goes darker quicker. And I didn't want a cream background. I knew that. Like, I wasn't looking for this level of contrast. I wanted something different, I guess. So here we go again. Sometime in the next week-ish, I'll get started. And what sold me on this? Okay, here you guys go. Here are the colors. I'm going to separate out the colors that are that first bloom. So it's these and these and where's that green? This one. Okay. I was like, if the flower looks good on this, then everything will look good on it. I don't know why that was my decider, but that's what did it. And I really liked how these popped, but also somehow complemented. Come on, play nice. Oh yeah, so that's that first flower. It's gonna be beautiful, right? Like, it's totally gonna work. It's totally gonna work. So, redirected, feeling good about it, finally. 2 months later. Back on the wagon. I'm excited to give this a restart. As far as the next section goes, my library has already dropped. I know that the magazine is on, spring is on the shelves till April 21st. So this is a magazine. Display until April 21st. So if you don't have it yet, there's still a couple weeks out there to get it. And then I know that the physical magazine will then, you know, replace it at that point, which I'll pick up. I still have a poor languishing Barnes & Noble membership. So I actually have had a $5 credit. I got this for like $2 or $3, which is why I went and finally got the physical copy. I had just been working off of my library's digital copy. And as I said a moment ago, they've already dropped the summer one. So in my library. So by that standard, I'm a little behind. But by the thought that fall won't come until late summer, I've got time. There's always time. And there's no rule that says I have to keep up with it this year, actually. So I'm just going to enjoy it. Just gonna enjoy it. Glad to have that one sorted. Okay, so that's everything old. Let's look at new things. This, I wanted to start it, I kitted it up, and then I started May Lilies, used the right title. I started May Lilies instead of this. Not for a lack of desire, but just timing. Excuse me. So this is Charles Wysocki, an old Dimensions pamphlet from 1987. I love his artwork. I grew up doing his puzzles at my grandma's house, and I love his artwork. So I have a couple of kits and a couple of projects underway, and I have plans to start those kits seasonally as we go through the year. So I think the first kit start that you guys have gifted me, you guys are so kind. You're keeping me stocked in Charles Wysocki, and I love it. I think the first kit I'm going to start in June-ish, June or July, and then the next one is a bit more autumnal, so it'll probably come September, October. But I wanted to stitch something spring, and I love this. I'm sorry it's so tiny and probably a little blurred out, but this is the only photo in the pattern of the design. But it's so, so pretty, and the colors are so fresh, and it's not big. So I'm going to start it on a 36 count Edinburgh cream that was clearly for something else. I robbed that pattern, but the colors were so lovely on it. So, so lovely. I'll stitch it 2 over 2, and it will only finish, let me check. I think it's like 5x7. Yeah, 5x7. So it'll just be a cute little tiny spring house. I love it. I'm excited to start this one. That'll be really fun. Okay, the next one. So, I was gifted a buy me a coffee by Fran. So thank you so much. I believe that was the correct one. I've been remiss in mentioning, I haven't done a lot of haul this year, and most of what I've gotten has come from either Stitchy Kindness or you guys donating to the Buy Me a Coffee or a Ko-Fi, and I thank you so much for that. It's, you know, as for so many people, it's been a tight year. There's not a lot of shopping going on, and what I've been able to do has been supplemented by your guys' generosity and kindness, and so thank you so much. It is so appreciated, and I'm always so humbled by it. I'm mostly excited and grateful. So, I had seen this pattern on Instagram. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember the handle of who shared it. House of Stitch and Stash. She's down in Florida. I don't know if she has a store or not, but I want to go if she does. Her Instagram is beautifully curated, and her work is impeccable. But she always shows the most mouth-watering projects. Like, I think she's one of the reasons I'm diving into samplers in the last year in a bigger way than I ever have before. So, Jenny's Bean Garden. She shared, oh my goodness, I'm going to pull it out of the plastic. Sorry for any wrinkling here, but hopefully it won't be too much. But I want you to be able to see it because it's kind of blendy. It is so beautiful. And she's stitching hers on a lighter background, which I'd kind of thought I might do as well. But then, as I was digging through my fabric, I found this piece of linen I had dyed last year, and it wound up just being perfect. So, that's the, oh, okay. That's the direction I'm going with it. See if I can get the good light. You don't need to see my face. I'm just trying to make sure it's in the camera. So I have some of the called for colors. Actually, I have most of the called for colors. So I had to go through. I realized that over the last couple of years, especially since our move last year, I have been less conscientious about kitting up on a floss card than just chucking the floss in to a project by skein. And I've traditionally done it this way because I can put, 2 to 4 lengths, depending on how much it looks like it will use, on a card and just going from there. And yeah, it's gonna be so pretty. Anyways, so I went through all the projects I could find, except for, I will admit, one, which I'm still working on the conversion for. But like, I've actually got a convenient thing about sitting right here is my projects are sitting in front of me. But for example, my Christmas tree farm, my prairie schooler, which I've been doing a conversion to overdyes for, I just had rings of floss sitting on, and I'd kind of had it staying that way because I hadn't chosen where I was using the colors or anything like that. So I took some time last weekend. Definitely took some time. And I chose where I would use what color and guesstimated how many lengths of floss I would need in conjunction with that. And I was able to break up those rings and put them back into my master stash. And once I'd done that, I think it was a stack of 5 to 10 projects that had, from a couple to a whole handful of floss skeins on a ring. And after I had basically, booted them to the side, given them a floss card, but then been able to put some back in my master stash, I actually had, as I found, most of the colors I needed for this. So I do have 2 additions. They do their flowers. If you look at the back, they show the light version, just a mock-up of it. Glary, but there. And you can see they've got some beautiful kind of cornflower blue flowers. They've got lovely yellow blooms, white and yellow, and then they've got their kind of rosy blooms. And then up at the top, I kind of interpreted the top as carrots when I first saw this top banner. And I don't think they're supposed to be carrots, but that's the way my brain read it. So we're going a little carroty with it. So I have, this is the blue. This is Old Money. And I did have some of it, but it reads very gray. And I wanted those blooms to read blue. So I pulled out Blueberry Tart from Classic Colorworks, which will read a bit fresher, a bit more blue. And then I also pulled, what is this? Copper Penny by Classic Colorworks to incorporate at the top, and probably in a couple other spots, just to not put it only in one spot, but to kind of give those top, whatever they are, a bit more of a carroty vibe. Because my bean patch, my bean garden has carrots in it apparently. So there we go. I'm so excited to start this one. I think it's going to be beautiful. It's a bit bigger project, so it's certainly not something that's going to be finished right away, but that's okay because it'll be really fun stitching. So I was able to get that pattern with the Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It had been sitting in my cart for weeks and weeks. And then I also picked up In Friendship's Way, because I'm just trying to collect the Blackbird design books. I think they're beautiful, and I picked up a Christmas one and an autumn one last year. It's in my flags. So I picked those up last year, and it kind of just got me started on wanting to have more of their books. So it'll be a slow collection process. I didn't realize how many strawberries were in this book. In fact, I'd say almost half of the book is this little set of strawberries. I love this one. I've never made a strawberry before. Maybe I'll fall in love with doing them. I don't know. But I love this, and I love that parrot. And even this is really sweet, even though my heart has a hard time poking through my stitching with a needle or a pin. But I don't know. Why not, I guess, right? I poke through my wool applique with needles and pins, so I don't know. Okay, last thing I'm going to start, I think, or that I kitted up, is this is a free pattern from Owl Forest Embroidery called Summer in the Valley. I printed it off last year thinking I would start it, and then just never even kitted it up. So I went stash diving while I was doing my big, I'm not sure what to call it. It's not de-stashing, de-kitting of floss, perhaps. Anyways, I used the DMC conversion they have, because they stitch their sample with their own hand-dyed flosses, and it gives you really cute variegation, which I like. So I kitted with overdyeds from Stash, keeping to the palette as much as I could. Yeah, I think to do that, I had to add a couple extra colors. Like I had to add, their gold goes a little bit more orange in the variegation, but I didn't have any golds that did that, because you can see they use the same floss for this as they do for the carrots. And it works really well, but I didn't have anything similar to that, so I have both a gold and a little orange. I have in their little pig over here, they've got a kind of a peachy coral color and then a darker salmon. But that's the same color that's supposed to be the apples. I wanted the apples to be a true red. I wanted my strawberries a true red, so I've pulled a red. You know, just kind of little things like that so that I get the look like they have, but I kind of had to play with it, add a couple extra colors to get that effect out of what I had on hand. So that'll be fun. It's a little more summery than spring perhaps, but I kind of just want to stitch all the fruits and vegetables and flowers. So if it's garden themed, that's where my heart is right now. My heart is in the garden. And with that in mind, I've pulled a couple of whips out to be working on. So I want to work on, where's my list? I'm definitely I'm going to do the Restart on Nature's Journey. I'm going to keep going on Spring Traditions and the Iris Kit and Pink Sparrow and my little Enchanted. So basically all my spring little garden things, which is 4 or 5 projects. But then I usually pull about 10 projects a month to rotate through. So I needed like 5 more. So I'm going to start Jenny's Garden, Jenny's Bean Garden, whatever that's called. What is it called? Jenny's Bean Garden. Yeah, that was right. Why do I doubt myself? I'm genius. I'm going to pull Farm Life back out because I haven't worked on that yet this month. And I'd like to come in and get this house done and maybe ideally kind of branch down into that section. But we'll see how much time it gets, how long that house takes. It's not huge, but you know how it goes. Sometimes those blocks create a mental block, those blocks of stitching. But I already have my cloud line established, so, and I had started my grass going off towards that white farmhouse, so kind of give that a start, well, not a start, but a bit more a bit more. End of statement. I'm gonna pull out, sorry for zipper, my Simple Life. So Teresa Kogut, I started last year. Oh, the glare. Just strong. And I had started it, I got this far. And it's so lovely and pretty. Oh, yes. Ooh, isn't that lovely? I haven't looked at this in a year. I was making good progress, enjoying it very much, and then I moved, and it, you know, the seasons changed. And so, let's see, how do I want to go about this one? I could either dive into that big house, which is definitely some of the heaviest stitching. And it's bricks, it might not be that bad. Or I could ignore that house and go into this like row of trees and the cute couple and some of those critters. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I'm gonna give it some stitches for sure because I love it and it's worth it. And then I'm going to pull out, because gardens, my garden sampler, which I got almost halfway through last year. This one actually came with me while we were traveling, so I got a bit more love. It's wrinkly, but love that. And this is being stitched with the called for DMCs, so super easy stitching as far as like just row stitching and loop starts and all that stuff. So I'm going to work on that. And then last but not, oh no, two more. Sorry for one more zipper. I did not open these. I didn't realize that I didn't. I'm going to pull out, I haven't worked on this again since we saw it last, but my Magic Night Garden conversion of Come to the Garden from Teresa Kogut. I'm going to keep going on that because it's beautiful, and I'm excited to, I don't know if I'll keep going down the border. That would make a lot of sense because the first motifs I actually converted over or picked colors for are down in this corner. So I guess maybe I'll just keep going on the border. We'll see how it goes, how far I get, because that's a lot of stitching. But I am anxious to get into some of the motifs. Oh, just in case you aren't familiar with the original version of that, I'll pull up the picture while I chatter here. Only if my brain can brain. I don't know if I can multitask like that. Here we go. Okay, so this is the original. Beautiful. But yeah, I started, I think I've converted this pot, and maybe this big flower, big red there. So it would probably make more sense to keep going on my border and then start branching into motifs. But I'm excited to see because I feel like that'll really, you know, start to cement the vibe of my conversion into those beautiful teals and greens and blues and purples, to get some of those bigger flowers in. So that'd be good. And then I may or may not start in the greenhouse. Oh, cute Laura. In the greenhouse by Mojo Stitches, which would be my second Nashville start if I do start it. It's gardens. I probably will because I love it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I've got a lot going, and there are several projects I could see myself kind of settling into for several days. So we'll see. We'll just see how it goes. But that's where my heart's going. That's what I'm leaning towards. Let's see, I've already shared that. Oh, somewhere around the 18th. I think that's what she said. The recovering book hoarder, she is, for her birthday, stitching Alice April, which is very fun. And So she is doing the hashtag Wonderland Stitch Sal, which is any Alice in Wonderland themed project. And she's starting new things and, you know, having a lot of fun with that. I kind of did that in February. So I might pull out one of my Alice whips on the 18th just to celebrate her birthday with her. And then I wanted to share, so I have not shared this, I didn't share this haul in the last video. I met up with a lovely woman named Fran. I wish I could have just sat, I wish I had had the time to just sit and like have a cup of tea with her, because our visit, we visited for about an hour. She's in the process of downsizing, and so she was kind of passing along some of her stash, a lot of her stash. She was very generous, and anyways, she'd reached out to me and said, would you be interested in these things? And we kind of emailed back and forth with pictures, and I chose, and then I went and met up with her at her home, which was beautiful, and goals. But I was picking up the things, and so she gave me, I mean, it was bags of goodies of varying nature, because she's a multi-crafter, she's a quilter, she's a cross stitcher. Her work is impeccable and so interesting and so different from what I do. And I mean, a couple of the pieces on her wall were incredible. I mean, incredible portrait style. Anyways, I'm digressing. So she was very kind, and she gave me some cross-stitch fabric, quilting fabric, some quilt books, some cross-stitch books, floss. I mean, it was a good collection. It would just take a long time to go through everything item by item. So I didn't share it in my last video, but she did give me 4 books that are cross-stitch, and they're fun and they won't take long to share. So I thought I would share them with you all, just to share, because they're exciting and they're fun. And at some point I'll be doing projects from them, and you'll know where they came from. From lovely kindness and generosity. So I'm just going to pull a couple of pictures here. So this first one is called Cross Stitch Wildflower Garden by Kazuko Akoi, Japanese designer. First of all, are those sprouts not darling? What a simple stitch, but that would be so cute. And these are all wildflower themed. It's just beautiful, beautiful. Their presentation in the books. Japanese, I've mentioned this in my quilting videos. Japanese magazines were my first exposure to Japanese quilting specifically, but their productions are just so elegantly presented. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. They're so beautiful. But I can definitely, oh my gosh, I love this with the toad. And the little ladybugs. And this is cute. Just little gardening tools and motifs. Anyways, a beautiful book. Beautiful, beautiful book. And then the second one is the same designer. And this one I'm not sure what the title is. It's all in Japanese. I should have asked my brother-in-law. He speaks Japanese. Similar vibes, but she did some kind of fun things in addition to the blooms with this. So like this has those gold stripes. They're sitting in pots. Here's some just stems of flowers. This one I love. Both this one with the kind of the color palette. Oh my gosh, my bangs are killing me today. Color palette, but this one with the pencils and then the rose in between and then the striped colored pencil. There's something so appealing about that. I just love it. So I'll definitely see at some point. And I love these are all very simple, neat neutrals as far as the linen goes. But how effective that is with these kind of airy, natural designs. Anyways, I love it. I think these are gorgeous. And I'm very excited one day to stitch from them. The other two are Teresa Wentzler books, which just felt like she was giving away gold. I felt a little bad taking them. But she was firm. Anyways, these are beautiful. They're Teresa Wentzler. I mean, they're intensive, but they're gorgeous. And I'm gonna need a Pegasus in my life at some point. And I actually already have this unicorn kitted up. I had purchased a pamphlet of this off of eBay or Etsy, something like that. But as I've looked through the book chart is a lot easier to read than the pamphlet was. So that's fortuitous. That works out really well. And I actually love the dragon with the castle. Very, very cool. Anyways, that's what you can see. Tiny, tiny designs. They're beautiful. And then the other one is Teresa Wentzler Christmas. That wreath is beautiful. And what else did I love, love, love from this? Just show a couple. This Santa with the horse. It's right up my alley. There's another one that would be a bigger project in some ways because it gets her border in there, but this sampler. I love the reindeer. Even if you just stitched this part and omitted, maybe kept that bottom border, but then omitted the alphabet and the other, it's really beautiful. Anyways. And carousel horses. I feel like carousel horses were my first exposure to Teresa Wentzler because my mom had some of those in the 90s. I don't know if she ever actually stitched any of them, but I remember seeing them, like they were around. So anyways, wonderful, wonderful. So fun to have. I definitely look at them on my shelf and think, when will I be brave and jump into the Teresa Wentzler side of the stitch pool? It will come. It will come. Okay, but for now, it's gardens and cute little garden critters and flowers and all the happy things that spring brings. So that's where I am as far as actual stitching goes. So, and that's what I have to share for you two guys. Two guys? Words are hard. It's fine. My brain's melting. I might need a fresh cup of coffee because mine's cold now, but that's okay. I hope you're doing well. I hope the change of seasons is lifting your heart. I hope you're getting lots of stitchy time and spreading kindness, and the world always needs more kindness. And yes, thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope this setup worked okay. Let me know what you think of it. It's kind of fun to have my quilt in the background. And if you like it, I'll move my computer every time. That'll work. Yeah, so what do you think, Grace? Should we say goodbye to the people? Do you want to come say goodbye? She's very sleepy right now. Hi! You're a good girl. Oh, stretches, yes. All right, my friends, take care of yourselves. Have a marvelous day, and I will see you not next week, but the week after, right around the 16th, for a quilting bee. I have tons to share. It's going to be epic. It's going to be fantastic. This setup will not work for that video, so we'll find another view. But I hope you'll join me for that. It's going to be fun. And then probably end of the month or very start of May, we'll come back with more cross stitch. So thanks so much for coming. Take care, big hugs, and happy stitching.